Welcome back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Drive Safe Day. We are joined by another two special guests. We have Glynn Spangenberg with Locomation. Dadgummit. And here we go. We have Don Christensen from Christensen Trucking, where the truckers truck.
Hey guys, welcome. And you know what, TCA, what do you think so far this year?
Great show this year. Coming off of September, so it was a short period of time that we all got back together, but probably one of the best shows. A lot of the excitement around, everybody just being back together. Unmasked.
And what a great keynote speaker today. Did you get to hear it?
Oh, Carson, beautiful.
Man,
yeah,
what a great speech from him. Very emotional. Glad y'all are here. So, Rick, you want to find out?
Here we go. We had a big announcement.
Yeah,
yesterday.
what is it?
But hold on a second. So here we are right now, and everything we do right now is about the AI, right? It's about safety. Everything we have, and yesterday there's an announcement last night about, and Don, he's kind of, I can see, Don was strutting around this place like, Rick, I got a big announcement tonight. I'm like, what's he up to? And tell me what happened yesterday.
So last September, we met with Locomation. I've got a good friend of mine, Daryl Wilson at Wilson Logistics, had signed with them 2 years ago. And so we'd been following their product. We met with them last September. They came in, they looked at our network. We talked about what autonomy could do for us, what Locomation brought to the table. And we thought it was the right time for us to get in line. Everybody thinks it's way down the road. But way down the road, if you wait until then to make a decision, you might be the guy at the end of the line instead of the guy at the front of the line. So we're really excited to be working with Locomation, and the product that they're putting together stacks on top of what safety investments we've already made.
Gotcha.
And
tell us a little bit about what that means on the automation side.
You bet. So Locomation is in the autonomous truck business. Pure and simple. We're shooting for a single solo driverless truck to be out on the road. And it isn't that the drivers are excluded, it's just that the machine will do what it needs to do and work for the driver instead of vice versa. Our first instantiation of the product of autonomy is an autonomous follower. An autonomous follower is now led by a human driver. It can learn doing what it needs to do while the driver is ensuring the safety of the convoy. So you got a driver who's off duty not driving in the follower vehicle, and a driver who's on duty driving in the lead vehicle, using up their hours of service. And
we're talking platooning, right?
We're talking convoying.
Convoy.
There you go.
A two truck.
Right, and it's not an illegal thing. It's actually, because convoy used to be an illegal thing, but we're talking about two drivers, two trucks, one at a time, running down the road and getting more miles than ever before, being more productive than ever before, right? And doing things a little bit different than ever before. We're still got two trucks and two drivers, right?
Right.
So
two trucks, two drivers. It's a quality of life improvement too.
Wow.
We've already been heavily invested in automated braking systems, lane departure systems, mirrorless camera systems. We're investing in technology. And so when we looked at what Locomation was doing, we said, this stacks on top of what we're currently doing.
Wow.
But it also is going to create additional capacity for our customer, allows us to be denser in the lanes that we want to serve. And it's not a replacement for the driver, it's providing another level of safety for the driver, a more quality of life. The driver can be home more often. Even the lead truck, even though the driver's there, he'll still be able to use some of the autonomous portions of that.
Wow, that's great. So you're actually enhancing the driver's basically overall experience. We're out there driving it, but still behind the wheel on the lead vehicle, right? Still out there making what needs to be done, feeling in control of the autonomous vehicle, leading the convoy, right? And then when this driver goes down for sleep, the other driver gets up and leads the convoy. So actually, always a driver's leading, right? And y'all are enhancing the whole thing to make it better for everybody.
in the beginning especially.
That's right.
So, think about what we talked about earlier today, autonomy that's going to take those drivers out. All those situations that we know we need a driver there for, flat tire, road breakdown, you name it, right? Whatever, right. An accident that reroutes, all that stuff that you can't plan for in advance. We've still got a driver in the cab that can take over that and make those decisions, communicate with the back office. As simple as, hey, we're not going from Nashville to Atlanta now, we're going from Nashville to Macon. I got to change that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Talk to me about the driver. So you talk about the not the lead driver, the one in the back that's
driver.
trying to sleep back there, right? I mean,
Yes.
there's got to be a learning curve. Talking about the learning curve, what you see in that driver that's sleeping, trusting, that the lead driver in my truck is doing the right thing.
Absolutely. So our model is much like a team operation. The only difference is each driver has their own fart cab, as they affectionately refer to it. And so while you've got a driver leading, you have a driver that's also in the back of that bunk that also has to trust the leader driver. Okay, so in today's environment, that's how they do it. And while I'm sleeping in your driver, I'm trusting you. I have to. Right? And so it's really kind of the same thing. The difference is that I'll call it this way, when the man meets the machine and owns the machine, there's a whole different relationship between the technology and the human. Wow. So as I get more comfortable with my truck, it's my truck, and as I get more comfortable with its ability to do what it does, and I might start out by maybe getting over into the passenger seat and just observing while we're following the leader driver. I might, every once in a while get a little bit antsy, but at some point I'm going to go back and I'm going to totally not pay attention at all to the driving function. And by the way, then when I get tired, I'm going to lay down and go to sleep.
Yeah. Wow. That's
and I listen to it. And what I do like about this is that you're going to answer some of the questions we all have. Some of the questions I have, like if the truck breaks down, and they do, who's going to set the triangles out if it's running out there by itself? Who's putting those out by law? And you've already answered that, right, guys? Because you have a driver in the truck. You guys are going to solve some of these difficult problems that I think this industry is going to have to figure out, right? Eventually, right? When are you getting these?
When?
Yeah.
So within the next couple of years, we think we'll have autonomous vehicles on the road platooning. Wow. All right.
Wow.
But the real answer to that is when Locomation says it's safe.
I got you.
That they've got the product and it's available and it's ready.
I like that.
When they're ready, we're ready.
Got it.
When they're ready, we're committed to being 100%. So they also bring a product that's load optimization. So they look across all of our customers, all of our network, and they told us where we could gain capacity and density and run 2 trucks, leaving our terminal at the same time, day in, day out, deliver the same 2 loads to a hub spoke type terminal. So we're already going to gain benefit between now and the first time we put an autonomous vehicle on the road with the load software, optimization software that they already have.
So Glenn, the answer is, so now, in other words, Don's saying, Glenn, give us the answer. When's that going to happen?
When's
Right.
that happen?
Absolutely. So I don't have a crystal ball, but I can tell you what the steps are to get there, and it's called the safety case framework.
Gotcha.
And we all have to do this. So anyone who's in this autonomous space, we don't even refer to ourselves as competitors. We have an obligation to get this to the starting line. All of us do. Because if right now we were to say, okay, we're all fighting, but they're not fighting for market share. These systems aren't going to be out for a while. We still have regulatory barriers to hurdle. We have safety issues to hurdle. We either rise or fall together, in the autonomous truck space, and we must succeed at this for the clients that we serve. So the answer is when we can prove it. Now, our estimate for when we're going to be able to do that is end of 2023. We'll deliver the first systems to Darrell Wilson. Well, it's a smaller problem to solve when you have a human-guided convoy. You don't have to plan for all of those other things. You literally have to plan for where are the loads and You know, do you have the drivers who are certified, and can we get them trained and that sort of thing? So we'll do that.
So when you talk about that, Don, you bring up a great point. Are the customers, when you talk to them, you got to go to them, right? And you got to talk to them about, hey, I need 2 loads leaving at the same time, going at the same place for delivery, right?
Yeah,
you're talking about
right.
that.
So, but think about that. You got some customers that can do that. Right?
Absolutely, drop it.
So we think some of our early adopters are going to be factory to DC.
Gotcha.
So I've got a lot of customers that manufacture in Middle Tennessee, and they have DCs that are 500 miles out, right? They're more than likely going to have 2 loads going to the same location at the same time.
I like
but
that.
also I've got smaller shippers that are shipping out of the Nashville market, and they're going to a similar location. So, you know, it's that middle mile we're going to solve first, and that's one of the big reasons we picked Locomation.
Wow.
Is we think we're going to learn together, but the first thing we got to do is get more vehicles on the road. Because they're not taking the driver out on day one, they're going to get on the road quicker. We're going to have a faster learning curve. We'll be able to pull our customers into that conversation earlier. So I could have customer A and customer B still shipping out of Nashville, both going into one of the 6 lanes that we've developed that we're going to target first.
And
they can still go together.
Yeah, for certain. And then the optimizing part that,
Yes.
that you're talking about. I mean, you need that optimizer too, because it knows how to route the trucks here that are gonna pick it up and platoon it, or convoy it over to that hub area, right?
Right.
You need the intelligence, you need that optimization on that. Don, do you feel as well as you continue to grow your company that you're gonna be able to bring a younger driver into the market because of that technology?
We do believe that we're going to bring a younger driver because they're used to technology. They want to be in an environment where they utilize technology. We think this will even change the description of what a CDL license holder is, and it's going to be more. Think about your commercial airline pilot, right? Airlines have had autopilot for the last 50 years, but they don't take the pilots out of the plane. They can take off and land on their own right now. But they don't take them out of that. So we think that it goes from an unskilled labor position to a skilled labor position. We do think there's a lot of training that's involved to bring those drivers on. It's easier to train a younger driver that's used to technology than an older driver that may fight technology.
A younger driver trusts technology more than I would, because that's what they grew up in. They believe in it. They think it's part of their life, and it should be this way. When I'm sitting there going, whoa, tap the brakes. How do I get?
What is this Apple Pay thing?
Twitter. What is this? I'm trying to tweet, and I'm not even sure how to do that yet. So. Yeah, so you got this whole, what an interesting way to look at it. I don't think I've looked at it quite like that, but y'all bring a great model to the table that a lot of people are going to be looking at. I believe that.
Yeah. That's exciting.
So I think one of the questions that came up last night at the press release was if we thought it would help the 18-year-olds to gain entry. Well, that's getting ready to change our whole world, right? And where we recruit, well, think about being able to walk into a high school and start training somebody on an autonomous simulator, and then going into an autonomous
100%.
vehicle. The skill set's a little different, right, than what we have today. I think an 18-year-old can get excited about that skill set.
I think so as well. I think you're reaching another group out there, right? You're talking, and you're 100% accurate too. I really do look at this like the airline industry as well. It's a skilled, it's a different position, and that's what these kids, they get it, they understand it. They're not going to fight it. Matter of fact, it's less work. They're probably going to jump all over it, right? They're like, heck, I don't even have to drive very much. I'm all in.
Right. I love to sleep.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been practicing this all my life.
I've been going on ride-along vacations with my family and sleeping in the back seat till we get there anyway.
I'm all in. I'm good.
I can text and drive.
But they do say that Generation Y, I think, is what we're up against. They're looking at the college side now. They're saying, and this is the big question right now. I was at a seminar there talking about this, is that they now look at the cost of college, and they're like saying, they're trying to justify that. Now this is that age group that says, well, if I can go drive right here and take advantage, make a great living and not spend $120,000 on college,
or more.
I'm all in. Yeah, or
Right.
more, right? I'm all in. So it's something they're looking at today, that younger group, and we've got to, that's what we're dealt with. It's what's coming in.
So tell us, because I think we've talked about how we're going to start, right? But I'd like for Glynn to explain, 2 drivers, 2 trucks, to what the next step would be.
Right.
1 driver, 2 trucks. Think about
Right.
that and the
Drone
earnings
follower.
income.
Yeah, spectacular. So our goal, when I started out, I said our goal is to really have a solo driverless truck. Ultimately, to get there, you have to have literally billions of miles to test out all the various scenarios. Have you ever heard this one? Driver comes in, I thought I'd seen it all until today.
Yep.
And I just saw something different. Well, these machines have to be taught. They don't learn. People think that they learn, through machine learning or whatever. That's not true. What happens is in our convoying model, the leader truck is actually in shadow autonomy mode. So it's constantly saying, why did you do that? Why did you do that? Why did you talking to the driver? I would have done this. I saw something different. And every time that happens, it snips out that event, sends it over to the developers. They understand it and they program to it. And so they're working on all of these, what they call edge cases. The long tail of the problem isn't, how do I not hit a pedestrian who's crossing the street? Yeah. It really is more, what do you do when the knucklehead throws the dog out the window? Those sorts of really weird things. And so learning under real commercial operational modes, there's nothing like it, because number 1, they'll be making money. Number 2, they'll be paying for the technology. Yeah. And number 3, the shippers are going to get a tremendous lift because of the carbon reduction. They've been working for years trying to figure out, how do I get, lower the carbon emissions from my diesel purchase transportation. Now they have a story to go tell their shippers, and it is 22% reduction, and that's a step function.
Why is it a 22? Wow. Tell me why it's a 22% reduction. Tell me why.
You bet. So number 1 is the fuel economy. In a convoying model, you get about 8% combined average fuel economy. Been proven. You can go to NACFE. You can go to Mesilla Valley Transportation Solutions, and they all have the information that proves that out. So that's number 1. Number 2 is the driver pay. So when they do their swapping or their off-duty, or you have your drone follower with no driver, you now have 2 trucks running with 1 driver, and so you reduce about 37 cents a mile on average for the 500-mile lengths of hauls that we're engineering, and we've engineered. Idle time.
You're not sitting at the truck stop.
I got you. That's huge.
That's huge. And so our claims, we make these super bold claims, and in order to advertise, we have to prove that the claims are true. We don't have the autonomous trucks yet. It's a little bit of conundrum, right? We actually went to a company called Boundless Impact, and they're a research firm that study what companies are doing from a climate science perspective, and they validate whether or not the claims are true or not. And they rate the companies on a scale of 1 to 10. So we had to give them all of our science, all of our models, all of our math, all of that. And they studied it. And from a score of 1 to 10, 10 being great, 1 being poor, they assigned us a 10. And so what that means is the shipper now has a valid conversation to have with their marketplace. Yeah. And they can do it publicly without being accused of greenwashing. Because if we just make the claims and we don't have proof, then they're going to go, it's huge. So now they can go and say, I have a 5-year plan for how to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions by 22% from the diesel marketplace that we're purchasing our transportation from.
Now that's big, because we see that today from all the shippers today.
Yeah, it's
more
prevalent than ever, right?
Yeah, you're even seeing it now from the banking issues. We were saying we need to know what they're going to do before we lend money out. It's real. It's 100%. Hey, well, I want to thank you. I'm going to tell you this too. If you ever run out of reasons with that machine that says, "Why are you doing this?" Let me give you my wife's number. She does it to me all the time. Why are you doing that? So I'll give you her number. She'll help you out. Yeah, right. Hey, this is BCB Live. I want to thank you guys for being part of our show. Thank you for what you're doing. Great announcement. We love the technology. Thank you for doing what you do here. Everybody, but Don, you're going to have to say it. Your name, and you got to say, this is BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
I'm Don Christensen, and I'm on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.